Okay, picture the scene. So you're deep into a brand new anime series, an anime series you have never seen before, and you are loving this. Everything about this show is just what you want and need in your life right now. So you're on episode 7 or episode 8 of a 12 episode run, and by this point, you have a pretty good understanding of the characters and their backstories. The story of the show itself, of course, and you've either decided on a best girl or you're still fighting between 2 or maybe 3. You can never have too many best girls, right? So, this episode begins as usual, and then a few moments later, the gang are typically gathered together and the following will be said. You know what? I'm so glad summer is finally here. You know what? We should all go to the beach together. Go to the beach. Oh my god. Yes, 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 yes. Beach episode, let's go.
Hoo hoo.
Well, it's the beach episode or the water park episode. Sometimes it's the pool episode or even the trip to the hot springs episode. And I've got to say, I love them all in all of their many beautiful forms. Truly, I do. But there is just that something special about the beach episode. And look, I get it. Nobody likes filler episodes because they always occur at the worst times and disrupt the narrative flow. I get this. Nonetheless, the beach episode is a very stunning and majestic piece of art. The beach episode is genuinely a work of beauty in the purest form, and I strongly believe every anime series should have a beach episode. Of course, anime has many typical tropes and cliches, the beach episode of course being one of them, but the beach episode is in my opinion one of the greatest, and to your surprise, not just for the reason you expected me. I'm not all lewd, I promise. So yeah, some look at the beach episode as just this random filler episode, and to the weak, yeah, it is. Most often, people look at the beach episode like it just serves to get the cast into swimming costumes, either for cheap thrills or simply because some viewers want to see what the characters look like in bathing suits. And yes, we're all naturally perverts. Don't be ashamed if you want to see best girl in a bikini or best boy in his trunks. It's natural. It's all natural. Now, you see, what's beautiful about the beach episode is that it really gives the writers a chance to showcase their characters in a different light. A different set of attire we're not used to seeing them in, and it makes for a spectacular viewing experience. The girls in all of their various swimsuits, some whom are obviously very comfortable and confident in those bikinis, and others whom are just adorably embarrassed. I love them all. I love them all. And it's not just the fan service aspects that I fight for here. No. As well as the different attire, we see the characters in different settings and situations. The character interaction in the beach episode is, in my opinion, excellent. It provides more insight into each character and their own development, while also including sequences that undoubtedly warm your heart. You know, be it playing a game of volleyball, relaxing in the sun, water fights in the ocean, or sitting around a campfire at night. It's all truly beautiful, and I just want these characters to be happy, okay? And yeah, I think the beach episode gets frowned upon because of its past, where, yeah, it was 100% a random filler episode that was thrown in there with no context, other than to throw the show's best girls into swimsuits or enter them into beauty contests solely for the fan service aspect, which I'm all good with. But I can understand why people would sigh at a beach episode because of this. But the beach episode has changed beyond that now. It's different. It's changed, man. So how have they changed, and what is the underlying story behind this kind of episode? Are they included to lighten the load between the anime's intense arcs? Is their sole goal to display the girls and boys in bathing suits as an, I guess you can argue, cheap but in my opinion beautiful form of fan service? Well, it very well might be the case initially, but beach episodes perform best when they operate as a type of what you would call bottle episode. A bottle episode is one that puts a strong focus on characterization. This mostly focuses on the character and world building aspects that can't take place in the middle of all the action-packed mayhem, but instead in this much more relaxed and, in some cases, intimate setting. Take Love, Chinibyo and Other Delusions as an example. It's a comedy romance, thus a beach episode popping up out of nowhere is as to no surprise, and in fact most welcome, yes. Whilst we do see some of the typical beach episode antics, we've got like Nibatani and Dekamori having fun, we do actually get progression on Rika's front through insight into her childhood. We learn that not everyone can embrace Rika's Chunibyo personality, and this realization ends up being a prologue to the difficulties that she must confront later on in the series. Then there's the beach episode in Toradora, which of course does showcase the main characters in their nice swimsuits, yet it only acts as a prelude to more significant events. Minori rejects Ryuji's affections, but subtly suggests that she is concealing more information. Later, the gang undergo a dangerous cave exploration adventure that she herself devised. An adventure which forges tighter connections between Ryuji and Taiga than they had been before the beach trip. For these high school students, finally getting to see the true aspects of some personalities was a significant improvement in the story. In the anime Guilty Crown, the beach is simply used as the setting for a part of the story. In this episode, Guy asks Shu and Inori to accompany Tamadate, Menju, and Kusuma, who are other members of the Picture Research Group, to a beach resort in Oshima under the pretense of a mission that will require drawing out Tamadate's void. After enjoying some beach time with the others, Shu visits the grave of his late father, Kurisu Omar. He was the world's foremost authority on the apocalypse virus before his tragic death during the Lost Christmas tragedy. So we got the beach as a setting here, and we also got a little bit more insight into Shu's character. Now, one of my most favorite examples of a beach episode done well is in the horror anime Another. In its 8th episode, the series Another parodied the beach episode trope in an almost excessive and very grotesque manner. So, in order to discover someone who might know how to cure the curse on Class 3-3 that is basically killing them all off, and of course to have a little fun at the beach in the meantime, Koichi and his classmates travel to a resort hotel. In the episode lay many of the most common components of a typical beach episode, people flashing a lot of skin, jokes with friends, a little romance, beach games, etc. However, after Junta is violently shredded apart by a boat propeller, it is revealed that the curse isn't truly limited to Yomiyama and will follow the kids everywhere they go. The joy of watermelon smashing, swimming in the ocean, checking out the girls in their swimsuits, and of course the good old barbecue, it's all tragically cut short here. Now, another way to look at it, visiting the beach actually requires, physically traveling to a new location, right? For most stories, this alone entails a welcome shift in setting and opens up options that they otherwise wouldn't have had. I briefly mentioned this in both aspects of seeing the characters in different attires than what we have seen them in for all of the other episodes, and of course a different setting from the norm. This also applies to some series that you wouldn't really expect to see a beach episode in, and I gotta say hats off to how they managed to execute this. Now, the dystopian future is a genre that can really utilize something like a beach episode. Not for fan service as its main focus, though there, but for a way of really getting the point of the character situation across to us as the viewers in a completely different way. So, in these dystopian-themed shows, we see that the cast of characters all live in a very tiny space, usually somewhat safe from the barren wasteland, which is what the world outside has become due to some sort of tragic event. Both Attack on Titan and Darling in the Franxx are two really great examples of how a beach episode can expand an anime's world and move beyond its typical surroundings. So their beach episodes provide us viewers a peek of the world as it was before, whatever calamity caused things to alter to what they are now. So yeah, you can easily imagine Zero Two in this beach episode setting for the fan service reasons and how popular she is, but it was just done so well here in terms of being this setting, and you could just see all these things that the kids had, been shunned away from. They weren't allowed to know what the real world was like, but they were stumbling across civilization as it was back then. Obviously, there was the relationship builds in there as well, but it was just done so well. And Attack on Titan, you'd never have imagined that, a beach episode would be in a series such as that. Especially when you think about what a beach episode traditionally is. But in my opinion, that episode is easily or arguably one of Attack on Titan's most iconic episodes. So despite being looked down upon because of its cringe-worthy aspects, the beach episode is a well-loved trope in anime, and I will die defending the beach episode even if I am the only one left in this this world who enjoys them. I think it's safe to say that they are far more than a strange and quirky means of providing fan service to the degenerate fans such as myself, and the majority of shows still feature them because of what they can do and what they can achieve. The beach episode has impact on the characters as a result of tempo changes and setting shifts from the main plot. And of course, there are countless examples of utterly amazing beach episodes in different anime, be them solely for that fan service aspect, which, let's face it, there's nothing wrong with having it just for that aspect, or as a way for which we mentioned, to build more depth in the show's characters and world. The beach episode isn't ever going to go away, and I truly will never not be excited when I see or hear the mention of one. In fact, let me know if you'd like me to do a follow-up video to this, a list of my favorite beach episodes. Let me know in the comment section below.